Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. I've been picking on the Bible an awful lot about how it has this whole system of hierarchy and submission and bowing your head and wearing hats and and doing stuff that is the very stuff that they talk about in the Bible literally being the Satan or the evil people's actions, okay? I.e. they want money for prayer. You never see the actual Jesus Christ in the book asking for money. You never see him refusing to pray for people. You never see him refusing to help. But the church is all about getting money so that supposedly they're going to spread the word to people who are so destitute that the money would do more buying food. So we're going to travel around the other side of the planet. I had Quora people just really rail on me about how there's these other Eastern and Aboriginal and indigenous people who believe that they have to keep their heads down to the ground because that's a sign of respect. And actually, Quora got mad at me for one of my answers on that. But needless to say, there's no God that ever demands that you bow your head down and stare at the thing. The gods want you to meet them face to face. Therefore, it's a fallacy, okay, that it is a sign of respect. It is a sign of submission. Now, the thing that we have to do here is we have to point out that India, Japan, China, Indonesia, even all of Europe, was a caste system. You are born high rank, you remain high rank. You are born low rank, you're pretty much doomed to remain low rank. If you're in the middle, you might be able to elevate yourself a little bit by marriage or something like that, but you're going to stay somewhere in that middle range, okay? This is the hierarchy of all of this. If you read the actual writings and history of Buddha, Buddha walks away from a royal birth. He was a prince. And he goes out and he walks among all of those practitioners of the various yogic arts, and he decides that none of them, the austerities, are of not really any value. They're great to train yourself to do a single thing, but just like the royalty, you never advance beyond that. Okay? So he did not support royal birth as being extremely enlightened or better than the common person. Buddha did not support long lineage. Okay? Now, he enlightened himself. He preached. Enlightenment is you walking out and doing it. Now, what does the Buddha religion itself teach? Lineage, long lineage. You need those teachers that have been by birth going all the way back down. Why? Because royalty is always the same long lineage. What do? You walk into Buddhist countries, they have kings and queens and princesses and princesses and princesses and princes, on demand on all of these Buddhist, countries and stuff. And the Buddhist religion tells the common people to respect these people as more enlightened, as a rank above the common people. Yeah. Interesting. And they tell you that you have to go through long lineage and you have to sit in long hours of meditation. And they also, and this is again, I covered this a while back in my stuff, but again, they talk about how there are demons, but there are no gods. If a demon is a bad god, then how do you have no gods, but you have demons? Yeah, it doesn't work. There's no yin and yang there, okay? There has to be a good God if there's a bad God. Okay, like I said, you walk onto the spiritual realm, there are no demons, okay? Now, like I said, it is scary and frightening when you first start walking onto the spiritual realm and you start realizing the level of power some of these things are. As they have gone through different levels of enlightenment and they've learned different things and they've moved around and they've done stuff and all of this kind of thing. But they are not out to capture you and hold you for ransom. That is a fallacy of the churches that want you to fear so that you will come and pay them for protection. The same way the mafia comes around with it and breaks in the doors of the hardware store, and the next day they say, see, you need our protection. $500 a month, and we won't come around and break the doors in anymore and steal stuff. And if you disagree, they literally walk through and start smashing stuff in front of you, don't they? Yes. What do the police do? They start breaking stuff. They demand that you do what they say, regardless of what the truth is, what the law is. You don't believe this? Go back through my blog stuff, and you can find the video of me barking down on the Los Angeles City Police Department officer, and he literally, out of his mouth, tells me I have no legal rights. Yeah, he literally tells me I have no rights whatsoever. And I literally, you scum type of a thing. And I barked the guy down. The paperwork he was trying to serve me went on the ground. He just throws it. You see it in the video. He did not process and serve correctly. Therefore, whatever that was has absolutely no value. And whatever court action that was is 100% fraud anyways, because it started out with a man claiming I had no legal right. I have no legal right to defend myself. I have no legal right to present my side of an issue. I have no legal right to present laws. He was trying to give me a 3-day eviction. Okay? California, if you are living somewhere as a resident and you were rented that place as a residence, you have 6 months to find a new place to go. You can never be given a 3-day or quit. Yeah. 3-day or quit got outlawed. I have been an owner, part owner of an apartment building for 50 years in California. I know the law. So you see, the problem you have is you are taught to obey, and they use this, submit or be hurt type of a thing. And the Buddhists do it, the Christians do it, the governments do it, and they all tell you, don't look. What is censorship? Well, to give you kind of a hilarious thing, as you can see, you're only seeing, like down to my belly button or something like that. If I wasn't wearing pants right now, you wouldn't know it, and there would be no reason to worry about censoring me on YouTube or Facebook or something like that, because you never see down there, okay? Now, I'm an old fuddy-duddy. I realize I'm in front of a camera and filming myself. And yes, even though I'm in a place where the temperatures are so hot and humid and sweaty that I'm an artist, I'll walk around in nude, I don't care. I don't have anybody else in the house to get offended by my scraggly old body, okay? But when I come over here, a shirt goes on and a pair of pants, shorts or pants or something that I could walk out into public goes on before I turn the camera on. That's personal censorship, but that is a part of the society I grew up in more than anything else. The logic tells me I don't have to care. The society that I grew up in, on the other hand, it would matter whether or not I was sitting here being filmed from the waist up and had pants on or not, okay? So the government wanting to go out and censor you because they don't want you to know that I was wearing pants or wasn't wearing pants is their problem, okay? And the fact that they don't want to look at that is their problem. You do not have the right to block me from looking at it or to block you from looking at it. You have the right to make your own choice. And like I said, the Buddhists, the Christians, all of this stuff, oh, only we have the right God, and don't you dare listen to anybody else, and only our preachers can tell you anything. Okay? Very quickly shows you how fast this whole idea is. And the title I was going to put on this little bit is that Satan is the humans who kill for gold and silver and control. Why? Because they are going after materialism, they are going after dominance. And like I said, when you have somebody trying to claim that indigenous people who were by the Christian invaders and the Muslim invaders and other societies that went in and told them, hey, you're subhuman, we're taking over. Like I say, everything from the Mexican border to Tierra del Fuego at the very southern tip of South America is called Latin America. Why is it called Latin America? Because the Vatican claimed all the land and then gave it to different countries, who then gave it to different rich landowners of those countries. So it was a caste system from there brought over here. So captives, slaves, and indigenous people who knew they were going to be slaughtered if they didn't bow their head before the white guy with the big gun in his hands. Yeah. Bowing your head like this for a long period of time while you try and converse with somebody is showing submission to control to somebody else. You don't see the Pope ever meet people one-to-one as an equal. Okay? One last little thing here about the idea of dealing with demons and gods and things like that. An awful lot of you are familiar with the idea that you set an alarm to wake up at a certain time in the morning and check up at 6 o'clock so you go to work in the morning and all this kind of stuff. And even if your alarm doesn't go off, you will wake up. Well, in meditation, which they do not tell you in the Buddhism and in the any of the Christian, Catholic, Muslim, related type meditation stuff, is that if you are in a dream state and you meet something evil and ogre in front of you, if nothing else, just wake yourself up. End of dream, end of bad guy. Okay? Now, you aren't taught to think about doing that, so you don't do it. You are actually taught against that. You are taught that demons are evil and bad and all this. So if you meet something in your dream that feels kind of terrifying, you immediately lock in, oh my God, it's Satan! Okay? And you start backing away and being trembling in fear, and you have a horrible dream. Okay? Now, a little while back, many years back actually, I was getting, kind of in the process. I was getting ready to read the Carlos Castaneda books. I kind of understood from picking him up that he was kind of hyping the drug a little bit, the drug world, drug culture a little bit at the beginning of it. And definitely the people that were talking to me about it were hyping the drug culture. One of the things in kind of the preliminary before doing that was that I had a dream where I met up with somebody, they were waving guns in my face. I did not like that in my dreams, and I did not really allow that to happen. And so I just kind of pushed forward and said, okay, this dream's over. And tore, kind of tore through the fabric and stepped into the next layer. And I thought I was waking myself up until I sat there and realized, no, I'm just in another dreamscape. And I tore that open. And I stepped through, and I tore it again and stepped through, and I finally tore it and woke up. Okay, so 3, 4 levels of depth of dreaming and dreamscape. Well, if you read in the later books in Carlos Castaneda, yeah, he talks about that, and the farther down into that you can come up, the higher level spiritual enlightened person you are, because you understand the levels and layers to the depth of what reality is, and you understand how to wake up and deal with life. So, just a thought. Demons don't really exist unless you create them.